one Cane Rep, you guys.
Yeah.
Even if it's in a recommended battle, he's got to have a Cane Rep ready.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure.
I don't think he does, actually. I don't think he does have a Cane Rep ready.
So what? Let's turn it over to Twilight. Certainly your favorite meta?
It is, yeah. It's the nostalgia for me, because this is where, Ghost Stadium started back when it wasn't even called Ghost Stadium. It started with Boulder, but none of us were Ultra friends. It was kind of really just kick-starting, and then Twilight was announced, and we're all very technical. We all very much appreciated the analytical aspect to Twilight, and then the fact that it's such a diverse and very balanced meta that doesn't depend on the lead so much. Whereas Boulder was a little bit very friendly to new players.
Yep.
This is even before Metacham had Power Up Punch. So it was very Skarmory centric. People were running 2 Skarmories. And then Twilight was it's kind of like a fresh breath of air.
Yeah.
And the nostalgia of that's really where all the discussion started. And you're seeing a lot of changes since the first iteration.
So let's talk about what has changed since February.
Yeah, well, Acid Spray came out very shortly after Twilight. Frostlass came out during Twilight, so it was still solidifying itself in the meta. And then Charm was the big one. Charm changed a lot of things. It didn't, it didn't bring it to an unbalance. Certainly, you see teams without Charm users, but you can't bring a team that doesn't account for any charm users.
Certainly in my last Twilight tournament, I didn't appropriately account for Charm.
Oh man!
And it absolutely ruined me.
Did it give you a hard time?
Yeah, it gave me an extremely hard time, and I lost matchups that I thought I should have won. But
what's your favorite charm user for this?
I think the best charm user after originally I really liked Togekiss.
Yeah.
Because it has the cheapest charge move with Ancient Power. And Ancient Power chances the buff, but
it's got its problems though.
It absolutely has its problems, but I do think the best charm user in Twilight is Clefable.
I agree with that. I think Wigglytuff has some play, being able to double resist ghost type moves.
So we just don't see that much.
That's
ghost.
huge. So yeah, of course, as you're saying, a lot less ghost type moves this time around. Mainly Frostlass, Haunter, and a little bit of Sableye here and there, but for the most part.
Yeah, I think Sableye, I've seen a little bit of resurgence since the beginning of the month. I think in the beginning of the month, no one would want to run Sableye because they were so scared of
getting deleted by Charm.
Yeah, but the thing is, it actually has like pretty decent matches.
Yeah, it's
and I think the preferred moveset is Shadow Claw, Foul Play, Power Gem.
Yeah.
And that Power Gem can do a ton of damage.
You don't want to be taking a neutral Power Gem.
Yeah. Even against Tyranitar, that Power Gem almost
it does.
It like takes 60% of.
And Sableye, even though it has to be maxed up to 40, it is kind of glassy. It's not like a glass cannon like you'd think like Frostlass, but it's nowhere near like an Azumarill.
He doesn't have a ton of bulk.
Yeah, so he's not bulk oriented. And that's one of the things I appreciate about Pokemon Go PvP is that, Sableye without any kind of boosts or anything like that wouldn't really see any play outside of this format. So.
And I think one thing that has also changed in terms of usage is I think we see a lot more Venomoth this time around. Perhaps because a lot more people have the Poison Fang.
Yeah, it's 2
Venomoth. And Venomoth Confusion buff really came like the day before Twilight Cups were available, so not a lot of people were running it. A lot of people were favoring Golbat. Golbat's still a really great pick, and I expect some teams to run Golbat once we have it up. Oh,
don't discount Psychic on Venomoth either, because it can catch people by surprise.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And we see Toshi and Craig James, both veterans when it comes to the Twilight meta. In terms of Toshi actually tying for first in the very large Pittsburgh Twilight Cup. He really likes that Quillfish, Venomoth Tyranitar, or the
and you did a video with him on anti-meta picks, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Very interesting points of view.
He is a master of execution and a brilliant player, absolutely. So we'll see how these two decide to play it out. If they lock in right now, this matchup would favor Craig James by quite a bit. But that Tyranitar still has very favorable matchups in the back, and I expect a safe switch into Quillfish, but it's not really that safe because he's Venomoth. But I know. Oh, he's gonna. Let's see here.
He goes for a couple Stone Edge, couple smackdowns there. Goes for the Quillfish. Quillfish doesn't have the most amazing matchup against Azumarill unless it lands that Sludge Wave.
It has that, that bait, and the thing here is that Venomoth is a good counter against Quillfish, but is going to have to shield.
Yeah, you have to spend those shields against those neutral damage Aqua Tail. Aqua Tail is going to do a ton of damage, and the Water Gun cumulative damage is also going to do a ton. Now, Venomoth here is not within knockout range. Not expecting Craig James to spend his... Oh, he does go.
He spends the second
he
shield.
Commits to the second shield. Very interesting. At this point, this is kind of a weird place to be in because you lost the lead. Venomoth has a lot of energy. Certainly, Silverwind is going to one-shot this T-Tar, so expecting a shield here.
They're both lagging, so...
And we're getting a little bit of a lag here. And he goes for the
He goes for the bait, which is actually going to be huge, because it potentially could land this...
Getting 2 shields off of this T-Tar is going to be a game changer.
He's going to have to shield the second time or give
very
up.
Calculated.
And
very calculated.
Craig James overcame the use of 2 shields.
Yeah.
And expect the Azumarill to come out.
But it's risky, right? Because if he hadn't shielded that first Poison Fang, it would have been a completely different
Interesting going for the Ice Beam instead of the Play Rough, because this Ice Beam won't KO. Is he looking to potentially farm?
But it does a ton of damage, so you can farm up a little bit with those bubble attacks, and then Stone Edge is not within knockout range, so you might as well just farm as much energy as possible. Now, Venomoth here is a threat because that Poison Fang is within knockout range, and then certainly Ice Beam is going to do a ton of neutral damage too.
He really needs to KO that Azumarill before
with confusions.
With confusions beforehand, because he's going to immediately switch to Umbreon.
Okay, so Umbreon has a very favorable matchup against Venomoth. Now, of course, Silverwind is going to do a lot of super effective damage.
I think it only does like 40%.
But Umbreon is so tanky, man. Like, Umbreon can tank a Silverwind. If it weren't for the fast moves, it could also tank another. Pretty much back-to-back Silverwinds there. So anyway.
Ooh, Craig James played a little bit dangerously, though.
Yeah, that was very risky there.
Because if he got Silverwind there, that Azumarill is also at really low health. This Tyranitar is going to get KO'd by fast moves, though.
Yeah. Yeah, this is rough. If the Tyranitar had a Stone Edge ready to go, it would be a different match.
Yeah.
But that was very well executed by Craig James. Very calculated. Well, having that Silverwind baiting with the Poison Fang, it's just too risky.
Yeah.
Because one Silverwind, and it's game over for Tyranitar.
Absolutely. Well, we're relying on that, double shielding end up being the right play for Craig James, because if he would have tanked that Aqua Tail, even doing the Poison Jab mate, he might have fainted on SmackDown.
Yeah, absolutely. So. Yeah, it's just one of those things. Like it's mind games at that point. You've used up so much energy on that Venomoth. You have that Silverwind ready to go. You have the Poison Fang and Silverwind. You can do any combination of things. Now, certainly, if he had read the bait and tanked the Poison Fangs, blocked the Silverwind, and had a little bit better shield situation, it would have been a different match.
See how Toshi decides to adjust and adapt.
So he does go to lead the Tyranitar. Favorable matchup against the Alolan Muck, if that's what Craig James ends up bringing. With Venomoth in the back, he doesn't have a whole lot against Craig James'
So this is still a really iffy matchup, even though Toshi has won the lead, and this is actually what I like and dislike about Twilight. You can win the lead and then have like really unfavorable matchups in the back, which might cause you still to lose. So let's see.
The thing about this matchup, T-Tar, if it gets a Stone Edge in, it's going to be huge, but it doesn't need to, right? So
and do you Acid Spray or do you Dark Pulse in this point in time?
Well, that's the big thing. I guess he decided to charge up to the charge move and then switch out, maybe hoping to tank a crunch there from the enemy T-Tar. Now, Azumarill,
he's really farming this, and I'm not really sure why. That was a lot of bubbles. That was a lot of bubbles, but
yeah. Now the thing is, Quillfish with Sludge Wave, landing a Sludge Wave is going to be huge.
The thing is, do you expect a Sludge Wave to come if you're on this?
Or an Acid Spray.
Oh, no shield.
And he doesn't shield there. He was expecting an Acid Spray.
Oh, wow. Okay, here comes Venomoth. Can this Quillfish get to a...
Oh, we got a little bit more lag here. Toshi landing that Sludge Wave was a huge advantage there. He does go for the Venomoth.
Is he going to be able to get? Is he going to be able to get to this? Oh, just short.
Venomoth hits just so hard with those confusion effects.
Do you mirror with Venomoth? I guess you mirror with Venomoth.
Well, he's got Stone Edge ready to go, and Crunch is going to do a ton of neutral damage against this Venomoth. So blocking the Silver One is the right play.
I don't know about that play.
You don't know?
I don't know.
Maybe because of the Alolan Muck there in the back. But I figured he has Crunch ready to go. He's going to be able to spam these Crunches. Smackdown's going to do a ton of damage too. And he is drawing shields on the Alolan Muck. Now he can switch out if he wants to.
Oh,
but he stays in. He goes for the double Crunch. Now remember, he doesn't really need those Crunches against Venomoth necessarily.
Oh, he's switching out
to Venomoth. Force a shield. Oh, he's
Dark Pulse.
Yeah, he's done with shields. He can either go for the Poison Fang or
this is a huge decision on Toshi's side. No shield. This Dark Pulse is going to do a ton of damage.
It is.
But is he going to be able to feint down this?
And he does go for the Poison Fang here. Now that's critical. I don't think Poison Fang will feint him. Muck resisting that Poison Fang is going to be very, very close. He is barely able to hang on. Gets another Dark Pulse in. We'll see if Toshi goes for shield, and he doesn't. He was expecting an Acid Spray.
Man, this is going to be very close because I don't know how much energy this Venomoth has.
Yeah. Now
it doesn't have it, and almost any energy.
And those Smackdowns are going to take it out. Even with the extra Stone Edge or Crunch, it wouldn't have been enough. Very well played.
Very extremely well played.
Razor thin margins.
Yeah.
Really. That's what I like about Twilight.
Yeah.
You're on the edge of your seat until the very end.
Well, Toshi made me look like a fool by coming in, and I wasn't sure on that switching back to Tyranitar, but it ultimately ended up being the right play. And
landing that Sludge Wave just, decimated that Azumarill.
Yeah,
for sure.
Absolutely. And in keeping calm, so let's see how these two decide to play it out. Oh man, so
what
like
did Craig?
Venomoth, Azumarill, Umbreon.
Oh, interesting.
So I'm assuming both these guys will decide to feint each other down, and then it'll decide like who ultimately picks. The pick will end up winning them the matchup.
Yeah, although Azumarill with T-Tar and Quillfish in the back is not the worst place to be in, unless you don't have any shields to counteract that Sludge.
They're just gonna
wave.
feint each other down.
Oh wow!
He switches out.
He tanks this Poison Fang. Umbreon.
Oh, but he uses the shield. Here comes Tyranitar.
Damn.
Here comes Tyranitar.
That's unfortunate.
Well, no,
shielding that Poison Fang is not good.
He's deciding that he can't use this Venomoth afterwards, or he's gonna use it as to chip damage.
That's interesting that he didn't go for the immediate switch there. Being able to switch to T-Tar against this Umbreon would have been really nice, and keep that Venomoth with a ton of energy.
He's
gonna.
Craig James is looking to double foul play. He's gonna. Well, hopefully he's counted appropriately. Nine snarls to get to the double foul play, which he's
he is able to get on the other foul play there.
The shield has to come up on Toshi's side.
Yeah, I mean,
there's no way. Oh
wow,
really?
That's rough. T-Tar is able to tank it.
It's able to tank it. Wow. Okay.
But he just wants to do as much damage as possible. He goes for the Crunch
Toshi
just to feint out the Umbreon.
Wrong.
This is very calculated on both sides. I'm very surprised about shielding that potential Silver Wind. I think the appeal of Umbreon is to be able to just tank the Silver Wind.
I think he's going to immediately Crunch, and then let's see. This is a huge shield decision or not. It decides not to shield. This Crunch is not going to do very much damage to the Azumarill.
Barely anything. I mean, it basically tickles this Azumarill. Plus his shiny buff as well. Because shinies do more damage, right, you guys?
Yeah.
We do go for that Quillfish. Quillfish has a favorable matchup against Azumarill. Venomoth does come out. Immediately goes for the Silver Wind.
Man, I can't imagine you wouldn't shield.
Yeah. This is a place where you'd kind of like Psychic, right?
Yeah.
But
and not able to get the 2 charge moves. And this will come down to who's better at baiting.
If Toshi's able to land a Sludge Wave, it is GG.
This is huge mind games right now.
Absolutely. And so Play Rough is able to get a little bit more damage in there. a little bit more DPE.
Man, do you risk it? Oh, he called. But the thing is, these Aqua Tails are going to add up damage. He might just repeatedly.
Yeah, he might just repeatedly use those Aqua Tails.
Right? And then eventually, if he doesn't shield, and then this Quillfish can survive this potentially play rough. But is it going to survive long enough? Oh, actually, I don't know if it can survive at this range.
I don't know. It's going to be so close, man. At this point, Aqua Tail is going to do enough chip damage plus the water gun, but he's going to go for the sure thing and nuke it with the sludge wave.
Wow.
Yeah.
Toshi.
Very nicely played. That Azumarill is going to go out.
He doesn't even need to land all the bubbles.
Yeah, he doesn't.
To take it out.
It's not even, you know, Sludge Waves just does so much damage.
Wow.
And
we saw Venomoth Mirror, and I was so confident that they would just feint each other down. But Craig James decided to use that shield on Umbreon.
Yeah.
It was...
that's the game-defining moment, I think.
It definitely was the game-defining moment because he would have had that shield available. Yeah, and then... Because he... Craig James... He basically, Toshi used the same 3 Pokemon the entire time.
I'd be interested to know what the logic was, even shielding, because if it had been Silverwind, it's not the worst place to be in. You know, you just tank the Silverwind for an Umbreon. You have the upside that maybe it's a Poison Fang he's trying to bait. But
I'm not
Umbreon
sure.
can tank it just fine. So
it's a debatable shield, but you know these players play at such a high level. I'm sure
they're thinking of other matchups in the back. Maybe I want to have Umbreon with a little bit more HP and then just throttle
and
whatever
potentially
comes next.
Like beating out the Tyranitar by the Tyranitar over farming and being a little bit too aggressive. But and also really another game defining moment was Toshi deciding not to shield with that Tyranitar, even though another foul play was coming in.
Yeah, foul play. You know, even though it is technically resisted by T-Tar, T-Tar being so glassy. For a rock type, it is super glassy. So this is the only meta that T-Tar really excels at, right?
Yeah. I guess you wouldn't use it in Nightmare.
No.
And you wouldn't. Yeah,
it's the rock damage, the aggregate damage from Smackdown, and being able to just nuke things with Stone Edge or
basically
Crunch.
Be neutral or super effective.
It's
huge.
huge.
The entire meta is
nothing resists all of its moves.
Yeah. Does anything resist the rock?
No.
Oh,
there's no steals.
Toxicroak.
Yeah, Toxicroak does resist, but
Toxicroak.
that's a given, right?
Yeah.
Toxicroak,
even if it didn't resist.
Toxicroak.
But Toxicroak does resist all the moves, unless you ran the Fire Blast strat.
Yeah.
Right. If you landed a Fire Blast from a Tyranitar on a Toxicroak, that's GG's for that Toxicroak.
Yeah, Toxicroak just absolutely decimates T-Tar. Toxicroak is one of those things that if you're using T-Tar against a Toxicroak team, you got to be so careful because they might switch in the Toxicroak on you when the T-Tar is on low HP, and then they delete it.
That's the really tricky part of leading with Tyranitar.
Yeah,
is that sometimes you get caught by those blind switches, and then you end up being in huge trouble.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
But Toshi under control. Able to effectively use those 3 Pokemon, and a lot of people counter Quillfish as a counter to Azumarill, but if you're able to appropriately read the mind of your opponent, then that could be really huge.
That Sludge Wave, that well-placed Sludge Wave on the Azumarill.
I think that's the appropriate moveset. Some people are arguing Acid Spray, but I think Sludge Wave is the appropriate.
Who's your favorite Acid Sprayer? I'd say Victreebel, Alolan Muck, Tentacruel, and Quillfish are arguably the acid sprayers in this meta.
Okay.
Right?
Before I got decimated in Seattle, I would have said Alolan Muck. But if I were to go back and do another Twilight, I would probably use Tentacruel.
Oh, interesting. See, what I like about Tentacruel is that a lot of people are very hesitant to shield those, charge moves.
Yeah, but then you just go up to Hydro Pump.
That's true. You go up to Hydro Pump
and then have them make a decision. Do you want to shield or not?
Yeah.
And if you don't Hydro Pump, if you don't Dark Pulse, it's pretty devastating. But if you don't shield a Hydro Pump, it's like pretty much game over for your Pokemon.
But having that Sludge Wave is really nice against certain things, like Azumarill. Just taking out that Azumarill with a Sludge Wave, or doing certain amount of neutral damage against. Trying to think. Where would you... Well, Sludge Wave comes out a little bit quicker, too.
Yeah.
So there's certain matchups where you kind of want to have Sludge Wave. But I've sort of embraced the closer nature of Tentacruel.
Okay,
have
okay.
Sludge Wave and Hydro Pump.
Okay.
And I didn't have a Tentacruel in the first iteration. I was running Venusaur.
And certainly playing mind games with your opponent, thinking that they're not going to shield the first one.
Yeah.
And having it be Sludge Wave, but then the gimmick is kind of up after one round. But you only need to win 2 games to win a match in a tournament in this format.
Yeah. All right, so
okay.
We have an interview up with Bella, so we'll
turn it over to them.
Turn it over to J-Farm.
Just completely annihilated the first round. Went straight to 0. How did that go for you, man?
I look at the team and he had Tentacruel, so I guess he just want to scare off my Azumarill at a safe switch, and I bet that it's just the tactic to scare me off. So when he had advantage on the lead. But after I switch to Azure and he does not bring any counter except Venomoth. So with one shield, Azumarill will win that matchup and I get back the switch advantage. And then after that, my shield is hack counter to his shield. So that's what game 1. Game 2, I think he predict that I will bring Venomoth to counter hit Toxic Crocodile. But I just think 2 steps ahead and bring my Toxic Crop instead. And after that, I just won it very easy because all of my 3 hack out their own history and no way he can come back. So
Azumarill saved the day, eh?
Yeah.
Thank you. Back to you guys.
Thank
you. You know, not all heroes wear capes, so Azumarill is certainly save Bella's lineup, and I think we actually have the full standings from the Boulder first Boulder tournament, and you know every win ultimately matters. So Caleb ultimately coming with 2 wins, Cody as well after that first round loss to ValorAsh, and Bella picking up some points.
Yep, absolutely. Now here, I'm interested to see how Bella performs in the next bracket, because as we were saying, you know, any of these top players, we'd see them, you know, fluctuate as far as in the subsequent tournaments. So just because he didn't do so hot in Boulder doesn't mean he can't outperform in the Twilight, which just seems like he did pretty well.
Yeah, no, he's on a roll. 2-game win streak right now, and let's see if we should have him up in the next set of matches. So we'll see how he's
against Housestark.
Housestark. So Housestark looking to get a little bit of redemption and trying to keep rolling, picking up points. And again, we saw in the Seattle tournament, players pick up points and the leaderboard constantly change, and we'll see who's ultimately going to win.
Hang PJs didn't win until I think it was like Tempest or something.
No, I think it was actually was it. He didn't win till like pretty late.
Yeah, but he had done so well in the aggregate of all of his other tournaments, coming in second pretty often, that
and it looked like he was going to
win was enough to put him to the top.
And he looked like he was going to run away with it, and then he ultimately fell a little bit short, but put up a very valiant fight.
Razor thin margins on that. That was exciting to watch.
Yeah, no, those were great matches, and again, we're going to be looking at 2 really great competitors in Housestark and in Bella, 2 players that have played in the same tournament, but again haven't been quite matched up. And I'm sure this is a matchup that they've been long waiting for, and a lot of the fans have been waiting for.
Bella being in the DC area, super high-ranked player, he's done very well. And then Housestark, they've been able to travel a little bit to match up against each other in the previous tournaments for sure.
Both of them representing their team colors.
Nice.
Bella in that Valor, very nice Valor shirt. Housestark in the yellow Growlithe shirt, representing Team Instinct.
Well, we have a Valor in me, and then you have your Instinct.
Yep,
right?
yep. So I'm pretty neutral to whoever. But let's take a look at their teams. They both have done pretty well in their previous Twilight Cup tournaments.
Drapion's a very interesting pick in that Aquatail coverage, and it's probably running Bite, most likely, even though Infestation charges up really, really fast.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Do you think Bella's going to lock in with that Venonat?
No.
Venonat lead.
No. But, you know, upper level strat plays, you sack swap a Venonat. But yeah, so anyway, Muck against Venomoth is going to be a favorable lead for Bella. Being able to have that little bit of a lead advantage, expecting at some point a switch out from Housestark in order to save his Venomoth or something else.
Yeah, but that...
but when you switch out is pretty key.
Yeah, absolutely. The thing is, like, landing that Silverwind is still going to do a lot of damage, and a lot of people wait for that switch. Okay, he immediately switched. Okay.
Okay, so he does switch out. Drapion meets our Alolan Muck. Favorable matchup for Drapion. Now, here's the thing, right? Bite Drapion typically runs Aqua Tail and Crunch. This Drapion is running Sludge Bomb. And so most of the time, Azumarill doesn't shield, and boom, he's going to do a ton of stab, super effective damage against this Azumarill. So that's really rough to be in a somewhat of a winning matchup. You take a little bit of a risk and assume he isn't running Sludge Bomb. So at this point,
I expect no shields.
Yeah. Drapion was just trying to chip away at this losing matchup anyway.
But he actually doesn't get KO'd. And
yeah,
if he lands this Aqua Tail, it's going to be huge. Oh my gosh, that's absolutely a huge Aqua Tail.
Yeah.
Debatably, Bella should went for the play rough.
Yeah.
To ensure that knockout, but now has to expend one shield. Still maintains switch advantage.
So he was able to basically destroy this Azumarill, be at a shield advantage in a losing matchup. That's a pretty good spot to be in for Bella. Very calculated. Or sorry, for Toshi there. Oh wait, it's Housestark. We're just not updating the names. We just need to have Housestark there in the name instead of Toshi there. So our Venomoth is going to be matched up most likely against this Alolan Muck. Alolan Muck in the lead.
And in the back there's Quillfish, which is a really bad matchup for
Alolan Muck.
But the thing is, again, this
is interesting.
The Quillfish did get a decent amount of energy off, which is these Aqua Tails add up in damage, and the Water Gun also add up in damage. So this is going to be a little bit dangerous for Bella.
Yeah.
He's going to have to shield or expend energy.
Yeah, Water Gun is just going to do a ton of damage, aggregate damage.
Expect no shield.
Yeah.
And then, does this KO? It probably doesn't.
Well, he
KO.
missed a couple bubbles there, so it probably would have knocked it
out.
Oh
man, again that
last second Aqua Tail was so bad.
That last second charge move, Aqua Tail, right? Absolutely huge.
Yeah.
Again, it's still not out of the...
It is not. We're equal shields. Alolan Muck matched up against Venomoth. Silverwind is going to be pretty nice, but he's just going to go for Dark Pulse at this point. Really no sense in risking too much with those... well, Sludge Wave, he's got Sludge Wave instead of Acid Spray. Very common.
This is a critical decision on Bella's side. If he doesn't shield, then it's over. And if he does shield, then it's...
yeah. So he decided to play it safe.
And he might just get the win based off of
poison. He's just going to go for poison jabs here because we have still a shield left and ready to go.
Yeah.
There's a very razor-thin match, but match goes to Bella.
Yeah. And, you know, these players think in multiple dimensions, like going for the shield bait is the correct move, but sometimes, and then you don't shield the shield bait, but then these players think on multiple levels. So Housestark had a chance, right? Had like a really bad lead, kind of a bad lead against Bella. Was able to land those two last-second Aqua Tails to burn both shields, but still wasn't enough to overcome the matchup.
And the downside here is that he lost the match and revealed his Sludge Bomb, which is a pretty major card.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
To reveal from his Drapion. Crunch definitely adds certain matchups that you otherwise wouldn't have.
Yeah.
It's like that Bite, Crunch, Aqua Tail is like that most meta moveset on Drapion.
Yeah.
Never discount the Sludge Bomb though.
Yeah. And then Bella on his side is more aware of the potential mistakes he made. Not going for that play rough against the Drapion to ensure the KO. Instead going the Ice Beam and then end up expending a shield. So those small mistakes I expect Bella to clean up, and it might result in a more uphill battle for Housestark. But again, Housestark being such a great player, you can never count him out.
Never. Even when it seems like it's
we could take a look at their teams. Okay, we don't know what Housestark locked in, but that's totally fine. Looks like Bella might be locking in the exact same team with Alolan Muck. He really likes that Alolan Muck.
And so Quillfish in the lead against a lowland muck. That water gun aqua tail aggregate damage is going to be Quillfish's bread and butter. If a lowland muck is able to land that dark pulse, certainly going to be a decent amount of damage done against Quillfish, but Quillfish is not in a bad spot here. We might just see both players just play it out.
Yeah, I don't expect a switch out because it's a pretty even matchup. We'll see if man, Bella's pretty much only done dark pulses so far.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't want to reveal the sludge wave. If you reveal the sludge wave, then you're going to be pretty much getting.
Yeah, I guess dark
shields.
pulse is also the right move in this case. But
yeah.
Oh, very aggressive play. Maybe too aggressive. I expect the shield to come up on Housestark's side.
Yeah, just to shore this up.
Yeah.
I think at this point he might be suspecting that he doesn't have acid spray.
Yeah,
because a well-placed acid spray is amazing, right?
So I expect the well, we'll see what he comes out with. He might come in Venomoth, or he might come in Azumarill. In this case, he comes Venomoth.
Oh, wow.
And he's going to have to be quick on these Aqua Tails.
Yeah, getting those Aqua Tails in against the Venomoth. He does go for the switch out. He doesn't want to lose his Quillfish.
Is that the right play?
And then he goes for Drapion. Drapion's aggregate bite damage is going to do a ton of damage against Venomoth, but without shields, surely Silverwind is going to do a ton of damage. He did miss a bubble there, but he still gets the excellent. It does a ton of damage against Drapion, goes for the counter switch to Azumarill. At this point, Housestark, or rather Bella, knows about the Sludge Bomb. And he goes for the Aqua Tail. So at this point,
he's trying to bait the shield.
He can still tank that Sludge Bomb.
Oh,
yeah,
but
at this point,
he just wants to chip away. And well, I guess it didn't really matter. Ultimately,
at this point, I mean, honestly, probably should have gone for the Sludge Bomb, mainly because he's not going to get to another Aqua Tail or Sludge Bomb anyway. But in the heat of the moment, kind of lose track a little bit of your energy, and this is what happens.
Well, this mirror match is going to be interesting. This is Azumarill. Bella's Azumarill is a little bit chipped away.
Yep.
But does have a pretty big energy advantage.
And this is the classic moveset for Azumarill, just chunking it away at each other. This is the token Great League PvP monster as far as total damage output on Azumarill. Great typing. He comes out with Quillfish.
Wow. Okay.
And he's going to land that sludge wave. No shields left.
No shields left, but then this Venomoth's going to be able to farm a little bit.
It will.
And potentially, let's see.
Yeah, Twilight has you on the edge of your seats because...
But let's see, this Housestark has...
He does have an Ice Beam ready to go.
He has Ice Beam ready.
I think this is... If it's not within knockout range, it's going to be super close.
Yeah,
Poison Fang is not going to be able to feint this out. And sure enough,
and he's not even
the win goes for Housestark. Very nicely played.
Really well played. After expending both shields, you think Housestark is at a really big disadvantage, but able to conserve energy on that Quillfish and not just going straight double Aqua Tail like most players would. And that's what separates Housestark and majority of the player base. Be able to think ahead and really outplay his opponent from a deficit.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what they end up leading against each other, how they end up adjusting their tactics. I think that Sludge Bomb on Drapion was the right call. I've been thinking about that myself because it's very tempting to not want to waste shields.
Yeah. What matchup do you give up when you choose not to run?
I think by not having Crunch, you do a little bit worse against. I want to say against the Flyers.
Yeah, because you're both hitting for neutral damage, but you're doing a ton of damage.
But you're doing a little stab on top of that, so it's one of those matchups where you just don't, Crunch does really well in just neutral damage against a lot of things.
Yeah. It might shore up some matchups that you want to have, like against the Flyers, but Aqua Tail is a pretty decent move.
I think Sludge Bomb is just it's a tech choice. Whereas Aqua Tail Crunch is more of a generalist choice.
Sure.
So that Drapion functions really well in place of like a T-Tar. Legacy T-Tar does really well in this format, as we've seen before. Umbreon, they're all kind of in that same category when you pair Bite with Drapion. But having that Sludge Bomb is definitely a tech choice, and it's worked out pretty well for Housestark.
So this is going to be an interesting matchup because Housestark does have the lead advantage in this particular case, but
This is
Bella can safe switch to Azumarill, which I'm assuming he's going to do.
This is a case where you'd prefer to have.
Oh,
Crunch.
he actually. She came. Okay, yep, that makes sense too.
So he does go for the switch to Alolan Muck. At this point, we're just going for Aqua Tail. Drapion doesn't have a bad matchup against Alolan Muck.
But I'm assuming he's going to switch out after this.
He might, but then again, he might have a good answer for that Venomoth in there in the back. So he might as well just chip away at this Muck. He knows he's not running Acid
but
Spray.
here comes the Sludge Wave, right?
Sludge Wave is going to do a decent amount, but Drapion should be able to tank this no problem.
But it's going to do a lot of damage and unexpectedly. You're going to come in with Quillfish.
Just finish him up. No Dark Pulse remaining.
Ooh,
That's got to be frustrating on Bella's side to not get that extra Dark Pulse there. And so now we have a decision to make. Venomoth certainly has a favorable matchup against Quillfish, but he is kind of forced to use shields at some point. And those Aqua Tails are going to come out very, very quickly. Paired up with that Water Gun, even though it's lower energy gain.
And it only took resisted Poison Jab damage against...
Now the thing about this matchup, you're using shields.
Oh, he decides to.
Interesting.
He didn't want to expend the shield.
Yeah.
Which is an interesting play. But the thing is, the Bite Drapion is going to come back in, and Bella's expended energy. Does he have enough?
He's not going to get to that Silver Wind. I don't think. This is the play, right? You know, you either take it down, have a Silver Wind ready to go, and he switches to Azumarill, knowing that that Sludge Bomb might be imminent threat. It looks like he's tapping furiously at that Sludge Bomb. He's not going to get to the Aqua Tail and Sludge Bomb. So at this point, I'm expecting a shield.
Man. If you don't shield this, oh my gosh!
Oh man, he went for not shielding, but at this point, Azumarill, if there's any Mon that can do this, the thing is, oh yeah, this is it. Yeah, you know they're equal shields, but he's got a lot of energy. But he
doesn't. Housestark decides not to shield with 2 shields.
Yeah, but he's got Alolan Muck there ready to go, right? Or was it Quillfish? I don't know. At this point, this is a total uphill battle. I just don't expect... Maybe he was expecting an Ice Beam for the higher risk play to just put him at a further disadvantage. But at this point, he's within knockout range of Ice Beam.
He's literally going to Ice Beam when Bella is going for the 5th. And man,
that's rough.
Shield.
Definitely.
And then he's just
game-defining moment.
He's going to just continually Ice Beam. And then, oh man,
that's rough.
That is rough. And gonna sack this Venomoth.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, that was the play, right? Running that Sludge Bomb on Drapion was huge.
Yeah, because this Azumarill can tank a full. Another man, he might just try to feint it down. Let's see.
Oh, he's just trying to go for the. Bubbles there,
but even a Play Rough here.
Play Rough won't knock it out.
It won't knock it out.
And he's just gonna go. He's gonna commit to the bubbles.
The Azumarill will feint after this Play Rough.
Yeah. Yeah, it's still close, but yeah.
Wow. Even after that Alolan Muck landing the Sludge Wave.
Brilliant play from Housestark. Could we get a mic since we're gonna be interviewing Housestark if we have an extra?
Well, this is only round 2, right?
Oh, that was the. I thought that was the third. That was a.
No, that was only round 2.
Oh, okay, that's right. That's round 2. I lost track there. Okay. We're gonna be interviewing Toshi, you guys, and then maybe we'll interview Housestark.
So it should be
later on.
It should be Toshi versus Housestark in the finals.
Wow.
AJ, I think I know your prediction already.
What's my
Well, obviously you're picking Housestark because you want to interview him right away.
Yeah, no. For some reason, you guys, you know, like I said, this is a marathon, not a sprint. So we are going to be going over to
Miss Mystic,
Toshi and Miss Mystic.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm here with Toshi. How was your last battle?
It was pretty good, really intense. Went to a game 3, all really close, you know, as they're going to be all day. It was a lot of fun, though.
Very cool. Do you know who your next competitor is?
No idea, no.
All right. So where are you from?
I'm from Buffalo, New York. Buffalo, New York.
All right. And how was your drive?
I flew.
Very good.
Good. it was an hour instead of 8. So, you know.
Very good. How are you feeling about your competition so far today?
It's really tough, you know, taking deep breaths every 5 seconds. But, you know, be 9 hours of fun, so. Looking forward to it.
Very good. All right, so back to the desk.
Thank you, Miss Mystic, and I'm looking forward to this finals. And we've actually seen both these players play it out. And interesting fact, both these players actually tied for first in Pittsburgh in the same tournament, but they actually didn't get paired up. They actually lost to the same opponent. We call Cpon. They actually nicknamed him the Ace Killer.
I remember seeing the scores on that because he was kind of like an unexpected.
Absolutely,
was he rival?
No, I think he was a challenger.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's a challenger. But he took down Toshi and Housestark back to back.
Oh
so,
wow, yeah.
This should be a really interesting matchup. Contrast of styles, both of them really liking that Quillfish, and we'll see how they decide to play it out.
There's some funny commentary from chat saying I need to do my readbacks better, otherwise air traffic control will get mad at me.
So how do you expect that these two lineups will play in contrast against one another?
Well, I want to see the teams up because sure enough, you know, still having that Azumarill is a great thing for Housestark. If that Azumarill sees some play, you know, running that Sludge Bomb is going to be, you know, very, very nice. We've seen how he plays that out quite nicely. Now the thing is, Toshi running Tentacruel is just an amazing closer. I don't think anything shields down here will beat the Tentacruel other than maybe
Venomoth will.
Yeah, Venomoth is the only thing, right?
Yes.
But Venomoth doesn't want to be tanking Hydro Pump for sure.
Yeah, so we'll see if Toshi decides to use Tentacruel.
Or just have that bench pressure.
Yeah, and then force out. But the thing is, like, how does that Tentacruel having bench pressure forcing the Venomoth? I guess the Tyranitar.
Yeah, T-Tar and Azumarill are pretty good matchups
what do you want
against
lines
that.
up? But he needs to line up T-Tar versus Venomoth with shields up.
Right.
The shields down, that Venomoth can KO with a Silver Wind.
Yeah, you do not want to be taking a Silver Wind, and even those baits, as we've seen in the previous matches, it's not a situation where you want to be taking a Poison Fang either, and then have a Silver Wind ready to go.
Yeah, so we'll see. Housestark really favoring the Azumarill and Drapion and Quillfish. So.
Yeah. So what's your favorite? I mean, this Sableye pick is a little bit interesting on Housestark. He hasn't used it on stream yet.
So Sableye beats Quillfish, right? Beats Venomoth, beats Toxicroak, but then loses to the other three.
But it's pretty even against Toxicroak, right? It's not like a...
It's not a dominating win.
Yeah.
Oh, so do we see what Toshi locked in? But regardless, again, we see... Okay, we see Housestark...
Quillfish and Drapion he had, I think Venomoth there.
Yeah, so we see Housestark deciding not to go Azumarill in fear of the Tentacruel.
So the Quillfish lead is a good situation for Housestark to be in. We see him smiling a little bit.
I expect Toshi to switch out to Venomoth.
Yeah, that aggregate Water Gun Aqua Tail damage. He does switch out the T-Tar in favor of Venomoth.
Oh, wow, okay.
And so Quillfish goes for the Aqua Tail. Expect to switch out to counter this Venomoth.
They've already switched.
They already switched?
Yeah, they've already switched.
I thought he had
so Housestark actually had the Quillfish. Now he switched it to Venomoth.
So now the tables have turned here. So
yes,
now we have a Venomoth there from Housestark. Okay. He is able to take out that Quillfish without using any charge moves. He's got a ton of energy going into this. Being able to, either Poison Fang or Silver Wind. It's not going to do a whole lot against an enemy Venomoth. They are lagging a little bit.
Interesting switch in by Toshi.
Yeah.
To Venomoth.
Yeah, I suppose he didn't want to force the shield from the T-Tar, and then he can switch over to T-Tar if he needs to.
But the switch timer is not up yet.
It isn't up, but he has that option, I guess, ready to go if he wants to. Poison Fang certainly not doing a whole much more damage than Confusion Aggregate, but at this point, he's really not able to rack up those confusions because his Venomoth is on such low HP.
He has such a dominating position, and then even if he comes in with T-Tar, immediate switch out Well, not even immediate.
Right.
He's just going to draw the shield.
Aqua Tails are going to do a ton of damage. You really don't need Crunch at all in this matchup. You just want to be using Aqua Tail for super effective against.
Yeah, and here comes the Quillfish. The Quillfish is just going to delete this Tyranitar.
Yeah.
Shields comes up, and this is going to be.
This is an uphill battle for T-Tar.
You know, every time I say it's a wrap, I end up being
and
wrong.
then you get surprised, right?
So
but
I am going to try to correctly predict one and say that. Oh, we'll see though.
Yeah, drawing that shield out is pretty nice. Being able to make that Quillfish go for the shield, but he's not going to be able to get to that extra crunch. Just kind of a little bit of wasted energy there. He does go for the Poison Fang immediately. This is not within knockout range,
no
but
shield. Man,
that Quillfish is going to be able to... Ooh, it's going to be really close. It's going to be super close. Oh, wow. Yeah. Oh, but he still had one in the back.
He's had a whole nother Pokemon in the back.
Toshi having that one in the back.
Not a whole nother Pokemon, I think like
a little bit left. But with a shield too.
With a shield as well, so.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Toshi decided to come back with Tyranitar. Well, I guess he would have met the other way, so it was kind of a tough play. That hurts from carrying. No,
oh,
no.
Oh, man. That's hilarious.
Okay, let's take a look. I think Housestark locked in Venomoth.
Yeah, I didn't see what he led with. It looks like Toshi is going to be bringing in Quillfish again, but he switched in the last minute to lead Venomoth. He's certainly considering that Quillfish lead. He hasn't committed yet, though.
He's really thinking hard. These are two amazing players. Two players I've... oh, man, okay. This is not good for Toshi. I'm assuming he's going to mirror with Venomoth.
Yeah, this is a favorable lead for sure for Housestark here. He's going to be switching out at some point. He's considering it, goes for the T-Tar. Sure enough, he does go for the switch to Quillfish. Quillfish has a favorable matchup against T-Tar. He's basically just deleting this T-Tar without needing... he really didn't need to use that Aqua Tail, but I suppose he wanted to not have to use a shield against a Crunch.
Yeah. Which is still okay, because this Venomoth... Man, this looks like he's lagging. I think they're going to have to replay that, yeah.
Yeah, they might have to.
Yeah, they're going to replay it.
So it looks like we're getting a rematch. Again, this is still a favorable matchup for that.
It's an uphill battle, but knowing that Housestark has Quillfish and Venomoth, does it play into the psychology a little different?
Yeah, I'm not sure, because they've been using that same mon so much, so they might have been accounting for it anyway.
But
most of the time,
do you choose, if you're Toshi's side? Well, a lot of players end up replaying it like out of respect, but
yeah,
it's not uncalled for to. It's not within the rules to play it differently.
Oh no, they're totally within the right to play it different, as long as they choose the same 3 and the same lead. Those are the sort of the rules that we've laid out here for this format, anyway. But looks like we are having a little bit of delay there on some of the lead.
I think Housestark needs to restart. I don't think he restarted.
Yeah, we might just need a restart to just refresh it all.
Can someone tell? Oh no, never mind. There you go. Never mind. Okay.
Oh, he did get it.
Proven wrong again. So he's like,
this is what happens when we try to call things.
Yeah, locked in.
I get roasted in the chat though.
Yeah, no, they're gonna roast me as well.
We're getting a little bit more love, but that's okay.
Well, okay. I expect if Toshi's gonna play it differently, Venomoth mirror.
Yeah.
But then he's gonna be met with Drapion. But we'll see. It's very hard to switch with Venomoth, but if any set of players can do it, it's going to be.
So that. Oh. So he does go for that T-Tar switch. He's accumulating quite a little bit of energy. That Crunch is going to come out. Quillfish, if he plays like before, he's going to.
This time he chose to farm a little bit more, but that was a little bit dangerous. Toshi really needed to land that Crunch to do any
Yeah, to shore up that matchup
man,
because he doesn't want to be taking Aqua Tails. He doesn't want to be using up too many shields against this.
Okay, they're good. They're
Quillfish.
good.
And so it looks like they had a little bit of lag there, but they are good. Doesn't look like anybody got an advantage out of that. Aqua Tail sure is going to do a lot of neutral damage against this Venomoth. We'll see if he goes for shield, and he sure does.
And then the
He just
Bite
wants to be-
Drapion is gonna. Oh, he's gonna choose the mirror.
Oh, wow.
Interesting. Wow. I don't know. I'm not. He's gonna shield. Oh, he's not gonna shield.
He's not going to shield his
Oh,
Poison
that's
Fang
huge. Because I'm pretty sure this Venomoth will be fainted down by the confusion.
by one confusion, but they're both going to get a confusion in.
Yeah, and then.
But that other confusion
and
was kind of
Silver.
lost in damage, I think. And
Oh,
so he is
wow.
able to get to that Poison Fang against
and
Drapion.
oh man, and
That
then
was
he's
risky.
And this is gonna get fainted down.
That was risky because if he hadn't shielded that, you know, not having that, not being able to get to that last silver one was pretty big too. And so Quillfish being able to do a lot of aggregate damage with that Aqua
But
Tail water
these
gun.
bites are gonna hurt,
It sure is.
and I don't know if can get to this Aqua Tail. It might.
Yeah,
As
you
long
don't
as
want
it's
to be
shield.
shielding an Aqua Tail, but it's also kind of rough to be taking
But
up
they're
so
both
much
on the
damage
last
from those
Pokemon,
bites.
right?
Yeah, that's true.
So let's see what happens. I can't imagine this Aqua Tail is gonna fade
It's not
down
going to faint, no way.
Drapion.
Unless he's got some kind of buff card in his pocket. Yeah, no way.
Yeah, no way.
Bite's going to chip it down. That
It's
is
close,
GG.
though. GG.
Very nice.
Interesting play by coming and mirroring with Venomoth as opposed to coming in with, yeah, I don't know. Well, I think if Toshi would have Poison Fanged right away,
Yeah.
he could have double Poison Fanged.
Or
the
I
fact
think
that
he had a silver win left, though.
but he had the shield up. He needed to do the charge move right away because he ate too many bites.
That's true.
And then he ended up being at his last health, and that prevented him from. Because that Poison Fang difference would have made a difference for Toshi.
It should, yeah. yeah,
Right, double
absolutely.
Poison Fang, right away was the right play.
Yeah.
So, but Housestark, come on down.
All right.
Hometown hero.
Just pass
need
this
this?
line. There you go. You're good.
Hey guys, how's it going?
How you feeling?
Pretty good. It was a really tough match. Toshi's a really good opponent. He knows the Twilight meta really, really well. But I was just able to get the advantage with Quillfish and Drapion. So I'm really proud of the way I played. Really, really good match though. He's such a good player. If he was able to get that Poison Fang off with Venomoth, I think he might have been able to switch that game around.
Do you think one of your biggest decisions was pairing Sludge Bomb up with Drapion for the better Azumarill matchup?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I knew my team was weak to Azumarill a lot, so I knew people would bring it against my team. So I figured like, if people are going to bring it and I have a Drapion, I might as well counter the counter with a poison type move. So
Yeah, it certainly nuked Azumarill a couple times, and they weren't expecting it. I was saying in scrims, you know, it's very tempting to not want to use shields against the Azumarill.
And tell us about. So, I've seen you play in what 3 or 4 different Twilight Cups, and your Twilight Cup team here is dramatically different than what you brought in Pittsburgh and what you brought in DC. Tell us about the changes you made and why you made these changes.
So the main core 3 that I have for Twilight Cup is always Azumarill, Venomoth, and Toxicroak, and everything else is kind of just shifting around based on what I expect from that particular matchup or what I want to counter in the next game. So I added Bite Drapion. That was the only change I made since the DC Cup that we went to together, and it really helped a lot because before it I had Alolan Muck, and Alolan Muck is really good. It has like really good Dark Pulse damage and Acid Spray Bait or Sludge Wave like you saw today with Bella. But the main thing that I really liked about Drapion is that it does better against the core meta. It's kind of like a Tyranitar that has Aqua Tail, so
Yeah,
I really like that.
Absolutely. And how are you feeling about Tempest, the next cup?
So
So you had a bit of practice last night.
we did. We had a really good tournament actually. Arrow won 5-0. He swept the whole cup. He's a really good player.
Up and coming player for sure.
Oh, for
Arrow.
sure.
I think he's already here.
Yeah,
He's
Well,
already
he's here.
He's here.
Yeah.
He's here and making his presence known already in
Yeah.
Philadelphia by going 5-0. But you had a really close match with him and a
Yeah.
really close match with many. Well, you destroyed me, but you had many close battles. So looking forward to seeing how you perform in Tempest.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to see the stream and everyone participating. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, congrats.
Thank you.
Best of luck on the next cup.
Well done. You know what's interesting? We didn't see a single Toxicroak.
We did not see, and I was actually, I forgot to, that was in the back of my mind, is the use of Toxicroak has gone down significantly.
For sure, yeah.
Because of Venomoth and Charm users.
Yeah.
But this Venomoth being like on virtually every team and probably being like 3/4 of winning lineups, lines of 3.
Well, we didn't see Golbat. Golbat's been a very popular pick. You know, shields down against Venomoth does really well.
Yeah.
We didn't see any Charm users either. We saw a lot of Azumarill.
Yeah, and I argued last night with a couple of competitors here that Venomoth is the best Pokemon in Twilight.
It is. Yeah, it's pretty. It's up there.
It's up there. Like in use, it's so versatile, and its moveset and that confusion damage does a ton of work. So, and it has that Silverwind to counter a lot of its worst matchups. Okay, let's take a look at the Tempest lineup. So what do you think of the Tempest meta?
Yeah. Tempest, you know, the double electric team really holds a